Justice Democrats has a colossal announcement for everybody here. This one is very, very exciting. So look at this. Straight from Dems headquarters. Anti-corruption community organizer Allison Hartson is launching a primary challenge to Senator Dianne Feinstein ahead of the 2018 midterm elections. As the former national director of Wolfpack, a grassroots organization fighting the corrupting influence of big money in our government, she organized 1,000 volunteers to successfully pass Resolution AJR 1 in the California State Senate. The resolution called for a federal amendment to the Constitution to remove the corrupting influence of big money from politics. Allison Hartson is a working-class leader from Orange County who has spent her life serving her community, fighting corruption and taking on the political establishment. She is the first and only member in her family to earn a college degree and has a proven track record of service, first as a teacher in working-class neighborhoods in California. She was inspired to start fighting the influence of money in politics after seeing firsthand how corruption was destroying our education system. So that's just a little personal information here on Dianne Feinstein's amazing, amazing primary challenger. I am beyond impressed with Allison. In fact, going through her record, hearing her speak, I think she's already a favorite against a powerhouse of a corporate Democrat in Dianne Feinstein, who's been in government roughly as long as John McCain, so since the year 1896. Dianne Feinstein is the epitome of a corporate Democrat, and she's representing California. California is one of the most liberal states in the country, and their Democratic senator is wildly out of step with the beliefs of the people she's supposed to be representing. So when you go through her record, Feinstein voted for the Iraq War. What? Excuse you? Neocon George W. Bush and Dick Cheney, and this insane offensive war against a country that didn't attack us. You have a Democratic senator from one of the most liberal states in the country who voted for it. And she's on her high horse acting like, well, nobody could take me down, please. Well, that's because everybody's giving you a pass. We're not giving you a pass. We're going to run against you and call out your terrible record. And we're going to fight, to get real populist left policies implemented and to get people who will vote with what the people in the state want. So she voted for the Iraq War. She voted for the Patriot Act. That totally got rid of our constitutional rights. No more due process, no more habeas corpus. Of course, it allowed the NSA to do warrantless wiretapping and metadata collection on everybody across the country. I mean, really? This is going to be the Democratic senator from one of the most liberal states in the country. Here's another part of her record that almost never gets brought up. Dianne Feinstein was in favor of CAFTA, voted for permanent normal trade relations with China. She has a very pro-outsourcing record. So, and remember, guys, this is like, if any single issue can be pinned down as the issue that lost Hillary Clinton the election, it's her being in favor of all these horrendous trade deals. Because the Rust Belt, the manufacturing hub of America that got decimated under all these corrupt outsourcing deals, they said, we're not going to vote for the candidate who agreed with that. We're going to go with the guy in Donald Trump, who was a fake populist, by the way. But they thought he was a real populist at the time because he kept hammering NAFTA and all these trade deals. He said, we're going to rebuild America. We're going to do an infrastructure deal. So they voted for him. Well, how do you expect Democrats to win in the grander scheme of things if we have legacy candidates who are in favor of outsourcing? Because then Dianne Feinstein cannot claim to be, representing the people, representing the working class, being a member of the party of the people. She can't proclaim that. As her record shows, she wants to outsource your job. So that's a horrendous part of her record. And then, of course, she takes a tremendous amount of corporate money and doesn't think twice about it. Of course, Allison, as a Justice Democrat, is taking zero corporate PAC money. Zero. So, we are raising Bernie Sanders style, small money donations from regular people so that we know, because the incentive structure is built that way, that Allison will continue to fight for the American people. And maybe the worst fact about Dianne Feinstein, she's not in favor of Medicare for all when over 80% of Democrats are in favor of Medicare for all. Again, representing one of the most liberal states in the country. She's not in favor of Medicare for all when over 80% of Democrats favor Medicare for all. 61% of the country favors Medicare for all. According to some polls, there's even more Republicans that support Medicare for all than don't. So, in other words, the exact ideas that one would need to win elections and create a robust party for the people, she snubs all those policy positions. She's like, I don't believe in Medicare for all. I believe in the Iraq war and these wars of aggression. I believe in the Patriot Act. I believe in outsourcing jobs. I take corporate money. So what are you offering the people, Dianne? What are you doing? Why should they vote for you when you have a voting record that's Republican light? No, it is out of this world. It is mind-boggling how much more Allison's positions are in lockstep with the people of California and the people in this country. So I told you about her personally. Look, working class person, was a teacher, has been fighting to get money out of politics for years now. But what she's going to fight for is Medicare for all. What she's going to fight for is free college. What she's going to fight for is a living wage. This is... If we have a Democratic Party, and if we have politicians who could tell you what they're for, like that, and those things just happen to be exactly what the American people want, guess what? We're going to win. We're going to win. If you ask Dianne Feinstein, or if you ask any of these corporate Democrats, what are you for? What will they tell you? Better deal, better jobs. Donald Trump is bad, and there's a lot of questions about Russia. And what are you saying? What are you saying? Or you get from Hillary Clinton, we want to break down the barriers, and we're stronger together. And when we put hope on the ballot, we win. You want to know why they say these vague, amorphous platitudes and cliches and these phrases that are just, flowery rhetoric? You want to know why they do that? Because they're not really in favor of anything. They want to continue the status quo. They want to continue business as usual. We can't afford that. People are struggling out there. Half the country makes $30,000 a year or less. We're wasting trillions in unnecessary wars of aggression, creating more terrorists while we're at it. And people like Dianne Feinstein and Hillary Clinton and Tom Perez and all the corporate Democrats, they say, nothing to see here. Listen, the problem is if you just get rid of Trump, everything's fine. Well, no. Then if you get rid of Trump, we're left with the same situation and the groundwork and the framework and the rotting system that gave us Trump in the first place. So it's time to be revolutionary. It's time to reform from the ground up. And the best way to do that is to support Justice Democrats who are purging the party of corporatists. And by the way, there will be no kid gloves in a race against Dianne Feinstein. Just like with Paula Jean Swearengin running against Joe Manchin, there will be no kid gloves in that race. We're going for the jugular because Joe Manchin and Dianne Feinstein are wrong. They are wrong. Their policies hurt the American people. They pretend to be your ally, then they stab you in the back at every turn. No more. Now we're gonna call it out. We're gonna let everybody know what's happening, and we're gonna tell you what the real solutions are. So there is an insurgency taking over the Democratic Party. It's a win-win for us because there's unity on the actual populist left, people who believe in these ideas, and there is an insurgency where we're taking the party over from the corporatists and the neoliberals. And Dianne Feinstein is one of the leaders. But guess what? She's in a position now. She's on her high horse, man. She's on her high horse. She's used to being elected. She lazily thinks she's a powerhouse unto herself. But when people are given a better option, Feinstein will be no more. So it's just exciting, man. It's just very exciting. So we have 30 candidates, 30 Justice Democratic candidates. So no, like that Politico article said, oh, Bernie backers are giving Hillary-style Democrats, centrist Democrats, a pass. Wrong. No, we're not. We're doing everything we can in our power to organize and oust them. But we do need you, because it is true that Dianne Feinstein could just go get a few corporate checks, and she has more money than we'll ever see. So, but we're taking a principled stand. We don't want any big money. So that means we need donations, small dollar donations from regular people. So the link that you can go to that the money gets split up between all of the Justice Democratic candidates, which is what I think is the best way to contribute to Justice Democrats, is justicedemocrats.com/fight. justicedemocrats.com/fight. There is a way to donate directly to Allison. For that, you go to AllisonHartson.com, ALISONHARTSON.com, and you can scroll to the bottom of her page and just make a small donation to her. And this is how we take them down, man. This is how we take down the corporate Democrats. We chip away. We get our message out there. We raise a lot of money from, a large number of people giving small amounts of money. Because unfortunately, that's the nature of the system we live in today. I wish it wasn't the case. And what Justice Democrats are fighting for are totally clean elections, which are publicly financed elections. So we end the scourge of big money in our political system, which makes our politicians represent big donors and not the people. But unfortunately, the way the system works right now, you need money to run a campaign. So you have to get it from somewhere. And we decided to take a principled stand and say no big money, which is why we only want small dollar donations from regular people so we can continue to represent the people. So this is an exciting day. It's an exciting day because we're staying true to our word and we're fighting the corporate Democrats, because the only way to really beat the Republicans in the end and to get policies that help the American people are to have populist left Justice Democrats in power, because then we can catch up to the rest of the modern world and finally get stuff like free college and Medicare for all and end these wars and a New Deal. It's long past time, man. We haven't had a strong party that's trying to represent the people, a robust economic message, since maybe FDR. And obviously he had other problems in other arenas. Everybody knows that. But it's about time we had Democrats who are New Deal Democrats, who are Democrats who will fight for the working class and be unapologetic on that front. Well, now we have the option, so there's no excuse.